by one. I think people have been kind of just following the 3 bans all at once. I do think Fudge is kind of the favorite for this matchup, to be fair as well. For sure, let's see. I code, okay, it's not quite mirroring them. Okay, maybe it is slightly mirroring. Okay. Okay, my keyboard is acting up at times. I think I need to buy a new one. Sometimes it just does a random character and holds it. Oh, that's where the C came from, because they said LC. Spot fabric stick. Which does know what maps. I think both players do know what maps they both players do know what maps they want to play. Which is just going faster, I suppose. Oh wait, do we not have 2 Arabians? Wonderful. Have Arabian done. This is... What maps are still open? Oasis Trouble and what King's Road. Gonna be Raven's Pass for first map. This should be mostly set. CatTanker's pick. Waiting for Fridge's pick. If Fridge is here, he did pick the position. Partly expecting you to come to Discord, but both paths are fine. Okay. And with our first mirror of today, go like this then. So we're just gonna reset this one regardless. There comes the movement from Cat. It does look pretty smooth, to be fair. Dogs, we have MCV spins. Yeah, that's a perfect MCV spin. Oh, that's... Did have one hiccup. It looks mostly fine otherwise. And we're gonna be loading into our first match. I also forgot to update the same title yet again. Let me do... So on the bottom left side, bottom right side we have CatTanker playing as China, and on the top right side we have Fridge playing as China. I know the players actually went for an MCV move. I'm gonna ever so slightly change the stream title first, and then we can keep going. Okay, that should be a bit more accurate. So neither player went for an MCV move. We see a Guild Burrow before... We also see a power plant before the refinery. We do see a handful of colonies dying to the dogs, but it's not that big for cost. It's mostly positive at this point. And Flag Topper had no shot. That's a very early field bro, so we're probably gonna see some aggression, but we do already see the War Factory coming out from Fridge on the other hand. Double refinery, we're probably gonna start seeing maybe even Sharkies. I think the plan right here is end the game now or perish at this point. Because if you're gonna start going... Okay, already going into at least one killing tank early so you can defend the bunker rush a bit easier. We don't see Sharkies, we do see... Okay, so the second finally got sold. We are building the War Factory, which is currently broke, but it does have bigger numbers. However, the colonies are currently still split. The tank is not in the front lines to reinforce just yet. Killing tanks are going to be hard to kill, but they are also going to be somewhat slow at actually crushing. Fridge is staying broke, CatTanker is working on... He has placed the War Factory down, he's building miners, so he's actually still trying to go for the macro game in the background. Which is slightly long distance mining relative to the better placement over here. We're probably gonna see a second refinery, yep, we're gonna get the gems being mined soon. We do force some extra sentries, so if we don't actually commit to an attack, we're gonna be oh, wait. CatTanker. It's gonna be better off in terms of just stuff spent for defending here. Fridge did not overinvest in colonies, and he's also still going for miners. He does already have the nuke reactor, while CatTanker is only now getting the radar dish, but he has a bit better placement for actual mining facilities at this point. We get the flank, we force even more sentries down. I don't know, I'm on that Wayne mood. Okay, the bunker's down. Bunker's filled, it's not currently being repaired, it's going to... I think it's focusing the sentry. It gets the sentry. It doesn't do a lot, but it's not really wasted either. The demo truck is inbound, or being built. They already have tier 3 from Fridge, however. CatTanker is keeping pressure up, he's doing fine on money, but he should most likely be spending more money at this point. Nuke reactor is being built, while EM Pulse is already down. We're not even actually seeing many tanks, so the Pulse is not particularly doing anything as of this moment. The barracks is not going at all. We see a second MCV. This CatTanker is going back towards a more macro game as well, but it's not inherently... It's still kind of behind. That would have been such a good snipe if he could have denied the Centurion, but the Uno was there to actually prevent that. We only now have tier 3 starting or being worked on. We do have a second MCV. We're probably gonna see some frontline base crawling somewhat soon. But the base crawl is not gonna be able to just sit in front of the Centurion. We see the Kirov already. And we see Novas in production. We don't see any infantry, I think, from neither player. We see some colonies now. It's killing tanks and colonies, even though tier 3 is down. IC is being worked on, both sides. Senti is being worked on, Yunu is probably, yep, we see Yunu. We're not gonna see Frontline War Factory and Barracks as of this moment, as we currently have the Iron Curtain in the production queue. And we don't really have anything that can... Okay, that's gonna body block the Centurion actually, but I don't think there's enough anti-tank to actually kill it. A single ERAD deploy is already doing numbers on the entire cost deploy. That's a hammer defense, but it's only gonna survive like 2 Centurion shots. Maybe less with Novas involved. Okay, still 2. Yunu is out, currently going for the Nova. The Nova goes out. The Kirov is mostly just killing units right now. I think the MCV got entirely sold. CatTanker is not entirely behind in army size, but he is going to start to face Novas and Irads with the Centurion already out on the field. Does get his own. Does he have Novas in production? No, he has half-tracks in production and flag troopers. I think he's currently scared of the Kirov, which is somewhat understandable, to be fair. We see static defense, we see anti-infantry, we see anti-tanks, and okay, we're back to killing production. We're back to Carney production. That's going to be all the AA he's going to spend on. E-Impulse is down, the Technique is already out from Fridge, however. I think the E-Impulse just got used here, but I don't think there was a lot to hit at the time. I think Fridge's Centurion actually got picked up. We currently see the Centurion and the Yunu and Irads being split from each other. There's not a lot of answers to the gyrocopter, the Irads at the moment. Some gyrocopters would actually do a pretty decent number. Those are terror drones, which, much to my surprise, were not a target for the IC. The IC actually went on the tanks. The hammer defense goes down. The tanks are going to do a number on the Senti. Are those just Irads, or is no, those are still just Irads in the Senti. They do survive. There's a couple Irads from Fridge left here, but they're not gonna do any damage to buildings. They're only gonna hit Yunu at any point soon. They have killing tanks currently being dropped with elite reserves. We have flag troopers. There's probably been some elite reserves here as well. Yunu is alive. Well, Fridge is currently working on Yunu and not on the Centurion. He does have the advantage of a nuclear silo, however. Fridge is doing the terror drones to handle the Irads, but CatTanker is opting for... Okay, he's going back for the Centurion. He's not repairing the tier 3, but a nuke would probably still hit this area. If this doesn't get repaired, I think the nuke just kills it alongside the tier 3, and that's gonna be pretty bad. However, this is also the only war factory CatTanker has currently. Though both players are on a single war factory and a single barracks. They're just primarily long distance mining. CatTanker has a pretty good base scroll, and is not being punished anyway, because most of the fighting is happening exclusively on this side. I'm assuming it might be here. Okay, no, it went for the power instead. Is the nuke silo production gonna be stopped, or is he going for the power at this point? Okay, the nuke silo was close to being deployed, so it does go down. We don't have power to call in the repair drones. So the Senti is actually... It's probably gonna survive long enough for the power to actually be built, because it's particularly tanky. But it is just gonna take a lot of damage from that drone. Yeah, it's also gonna take a long time to actually pull up the nuclear reactor, given the... building a nuclear reactor on low power. And there's no shot you're getting power back with normal reactors. The Senti might actually be dead. I don't know how long though. Oh, and the Yunu also goes down the same turn when they got the Centurion. Is that a spy? No, that's an Ivan. It's going around, it's kiting the tank. It did not get the second power. The fire might get it. The fire gets it. Oh, no, the explosion next to it got it. which is now ahead in money, tech, super weapon timings pretty much. Not by a lot, well, by 5 minutes on the nuke specifically. And, well, production to begin with, because the War Factory only now goes back down. That's a lot of Flak Troopers and Flak Tracks. Some ERADs would probably do a pretty decent number in that army, but alas, there's just the one. There's an EMP, but that's still a lot of Flak Troopers. The ERAD is probably gonna deploy soon. It's going in the back, but he dies on the way there. I think that's all of CatTanker's army, so... Yuno's out. All CG. Oh, lagging, but... I think there was an IC on those 3 tanks. Okay. So this one goes 1-0 for Fridge right now. The second map is gonna be Reconcile. Score is 1-0 for Fridge. One pick. Have the position pick. Can you go away from the corner of the screen? And waiting on CatTanker's pick. Okay, there's both of them. We have HQ and China. Okay. On the top left side we have CatTanker playing as Epsilon HQ. On the bottom right side we have Bridge playing as China. Currently leading the series 1-0. Honestly, I don't see China very often on this map. HQ is somewhat common, I think. China is not a pick I'm used to seeing. At least not to my limited grasp. We do however have both LC and Russia being banned, so if you want to play a Soviet, you're gonna end up being on Chinese at this point. We do see the same Field Brewer opener, we've seen this on Raven's Pass as well. This map might be... So the map itself might be harder to pull off the bunker strat, but Epsilon might also be a bit worse at actually defending it, because you don't have the luxury of just spamming sentries for no power cost. Both of the oils have been captured. Initiate scouting, some dogs on the other side, a lot of conies going inbound. Actually, yeah, we've seen CatTanker doing this strat previous game, and now I actually see Fridge doing it. I didn't even probably acknowledge that. Okay, we actually see the War Miners being deployed immediately next to the War Factory. Or the War Factory is being deployed next to the refinery, which makes sense, but it doesn't help with crawling towards the next one. We have a somewhat standard close refinery going into probably second refinery. Probably gonna go here. There's no detection, so Ghost Miners... I forgot to allow Epsilon. Skill issue, my bad. But Ghost Miners can actually do a lot of squishing here. Here we have the second buy-sell refinery here. We don't have any more spending on anything but miners actually right now. CatTanker is currently on 0 and he actually gets, well, the bunker plays down. The Gat is down, he does not focus the power, but he gets all the army there. And now he has pretty much 3 go at the power. Ghost miners are still being in production, but you're not gonna defend if you're not making any input. No, that's kind of game, isn't it? I don't know how many miners he has, but he doesn't have enough to keep building stuff and throw into this. Because the war factor is going down, Fridge is just macroing at the moment. It's gonna be a very short game too, and it's probably gonna go... Gonna be a 2-0 for Fridge at this point. Right, okay, well. Fridge has left the chat. Update on screen for Honor to 2-0, but was it